Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about the Indus Valley civilization. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell to get our newest videos. Indus Valley civilization. The Indus Valley civilization dates back to the Bronze Age in the northwestern regions of South Asia, and continued to exist from 3300 BC until 1300 BC, and reached its full growth in the period between 2600 BC and 1900 BC. The Indus Valley civilization, along with ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, was one of three early civilizations in the Near East and South Asia, and one of the three most widespread civilizations, as its location extended from the northeast of Afghanistan, passing through a large area of Pakistan, to the west and northwest of India. The Indus Valley civilization flourished in the basins of the Indus River, which flows along Pakistan, and along a network of perennial rivers, often fed by the monsoon, that once flowed near the seasonal Ghaggar-Hakra River in northwestern India and eastern Pakistan. Civilizational cities were known for their urban planning, brick houses, sophisticated drainage systems, water supply systems, massive non-residential building clusters, and new technologies in handicrafts, agate products, seal carving, and metallurgy, copper, bronze, lead, tin. It is very likely that the large cities of Mohenjo-Daru and Harappa grew to include between 30,000 and 60,000 people, and the civilization itself during its prosperity may have included between 1 and 5 million people. The gradual aridity of the region's soil during the 3rd millennium BC may have been the initial catalyst for civilization-related urbanization, but ultimately, the lack of water supply was also a sufficient reason for the demise of civilization and the eastward dispersion of its population. What was this civilization known for? The Indus civilization was also known as the Harappa civilization, following the discovery of Harappa, the first site to be explored in the early 20th century in what was then the Punjab province of British India, now known as the state of Pakistan. The discovery of Harappa and the discovery of Mohenjo-Daru shortly thereafter were the culmination of work begun in 1861 with the establishment of the Archaeological Survey of India during the British Raj era. However, early and later civilizations existed in the same area, usually called Early Harappa and Late Harappa. For this reason, the Harappa civilization is sometimes called the Developing Harappa civilization in order to distinguish it from these other civilizations. By 2002, more than 1,000 cities and settlements were declared developing in the Harappa region, just under 100 have been excavated. However, there are only 5 major urban sites: Harappa, Mohenjo-Daru, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Delavara, Ganuarwal in the Golstan Desert, and Rakhigarhi. The cultivation of ancient Harappa was preceded by local Neolithic agricultural villages, and their river plains were inhabited. Nomenclature. The Indus Valley civilization is named after the Indus River, in whose sedimentary plains the sites of early civilization were known and discovered. Following the tradition of archaeology, civilization is sometimes referred to as the Harappa civilization after the discovery of the Harappa site, the first site to be explored in the 1940s. A number of scholars use the terms Sarasvati civilization, Sarasvati Indus civilization, or Sindhu-Sarasvati civilization, because they believe that the Ghaggar-Hakra River is the same as the Sarasvati River, a river mentioned several times in the Rigveda, a collection of ancient Sanskrit hymns composed in the 2nd millennium BC. Recent geophysical research suggests that in contrast to the Sarasvati River, whose descriptions in the Rigveda texts were more like a snow-fed river, the Ghaggar-Hakra was a network of perennial rivers fed by monsoons, which became seasonal within a period when civilization was waning, nearly 4,000 years ago. In addition, proponents of the name Sarasvati argue that there is a link between the decline of the Indus civilization and the rise of the Vedic civilization on the Ganges plain. However, Historians of the decline of the developing Indus civilization consider these two elements to be largely separate. The development of the Indus Valley civilization. This civilization was developed by groups that practiced agriculture and herding, and worked with each other in trade. Around 2500 BC, these groups became more culturally united and began building meticulously planned cities in some places. Over time, the Indus Valley civilization grew to include most of what is today Pakistan, parts of what is today Afghanistan, and northwestern India. The heart of that civilization was the Ninth Valley, which was flooded by the Indus and Hakra rivers, and the Hakra River, also known as the Ghaggar and Sarasvati rivers, is now dry. The waters of that river flowed to the east of and adjacent to the Indus River, in the areas of present-day India and Pakistan. This civilization developed a standard system of weights and measures, and a pictorial writing system, which relies on simple drawings representing words. Indus Valley culture. People who lived through the period of the Indus Valley civilization planned to build cities very meticulously. The buildings were constructed on clay brick platforms that protected the buildings from monsoon flooding. The houses were built with sun-dried bricks. Most of the houses had 2 floors, and most had bathing areas supplied water from a nearby public well, or from a well dug into the house. For large communities, each house was connected to an elaborate drainage system that spanned the entire city. Other facilities included large buildings used for grain storage and other purposes. The people of the Indus Valley civilization traded with each other on a large scale. The inhabitants of the cities traded with their neighbors from the farming communities, with communities that lived in distant areas, and engaged in mining operations. The goods traded may have included cotton, timber, grain, animals. As for transportation, people used lambs, riverboats, and ox-drawn vehicles. The Indus Valley civilization also traded with other civilizations, including civilizations in Central Asia, Mesopotamia, and along the Arabian Gulf. The craftsmen of the Indus Valley civilization produced a variety of useful and decorative objects. They used copper and bronze to make machinery, mirrors, jars and pans, and bones, shells and ivory were used to make ornaments, tools, toy pieces, and other furniture inlays. The craftsmen of the Indus Valley civilization did not carve household utensils and made ornaments from silver and gold, as well as stones and porcelain. Sculptors of the Indus Valley civilization made animal and people figures from clay, possibly for religious ritual purposes. They also made small statues of limestone, which may have been representative of gods or important people. The most unusual objects found at the sites of the Indus Valley civilization included square-shaped seals carved from stones, with simple pictures and drawings of animals. I also found inscriptions with pictures on pottery and other objects made by the craftsmen of the Indus Valley civilization. However, the scientists could not decipher the meaning of the writings they found. The people of the Indus Valley civilization often buried their dead in wooden coffins with clay pots and other vessels. Thanks for watching and stay connected for more.